Hi, I'm Kaye Spivey, and I decided it's finally time that I do the Authortube Newbie 2.0 tag. So here we go. This video is going to be a little bit of a two-parter because I recently found out that there is a PoetryTube newbie tag as well. So I'm going to post them both on the same day. I'm going to record them back to back, but I'm doing a newbie tag for both things because I'm really excited that there is a little bit of a poetry community, and I'm diving through that tag to get to know them more. But first, Authortube. So this tag was created by Jenna Streety, and I will link her video down below, and she's got all the questions and everything if you're interested. Question number 1, what is your book pitch? If you have multiple works, choose your favorite. Circuit takes place in a world who's in their own post-industrial era. Magic exists, but it's not really well liked. The world is divided into the normals, who are people who can't do magic, and the conductors, who are people who can, who are kind of repressed by society because magic is dangerous. Rowan, our main character, is a normal. She's been working as a carpenter in a family business. One day, she kind of leaves work late. She got into a bit of a fight with her father. Rowan's father is very prejudiced against conductors, and Rowan just doesn't see why she needs to be, but kind of has been keeping to herself. Isn't really all that in tune with everything, is trying to really stay out of it. She feels like it's not really her place. But this all changes when she leaves the shop and suddenly everything is cold. Someone has changed the air temperature to be absolutely freezing. What she sees is a dark, flickering, shadowy figure. So she calls out for help. Nobody's coming, just this strange, flickering, dark, fiery figure, and suddenly it charges at her. But the day is saved thanks to the governor of the town that Rowan lives in, who is a conductor herself. She steps between them, the figure vanishes, and then she sets Rowan on an errand for her that Rowan is a bit too stunned to turn down. It's to take a letter to these specific conductors who live outside of town. Now, Kasen, the town that Rowan lives in, is a town that is surrounded by walls, and Rowan has really never been outside of them. It just feels safer. It's a big city, there's lots to do. Don't really need to leave town. But it's not really that far. She winds up going out to this home of these conductors who call themselves the magicians. When she knocks on the door, someone answers and tells her they don't live there. But who else could live in this very specific house in this very specifically grown forest that very specifically feels magic outside of town? So wondering this, Rowan walks back home, and on her way home, a farmhouse outside of town is burning down. Rowan stops to help them, and when she gets home, she finds that although her hair is singed, her clothes are mostly ruined from the fire and the smoke and the soot, but the letter falls out of her pocket perfectly untouched. So Rowan decides to go back again and try one more time to find these magicians. And that is sort of the front part of the story. That's before the big everything really happens. Yeah, is that a pitch? Is that a whole little, that's back cover copy or something, or like more than that? That's maybe a really long pitch. Moving on to the next question. Question number 2, if you were a book, how would you pitch yourself? These are not kind questions. Struggling writer, jumps between other jobs, continues to try to publish slowly, persistently over time, and is a poet. That was much shorter than my other one. What do I usually write is question number 3. I write poetry. I've been writing Circuit for quite a while now, and just write short stories like the one that recently got published by Ether and Iker. Number 4, what's something you'll never write? This is one of those never say never situations, but I have tried my hand at script writing and I am not good at it. Don't think script writing is for me. If they mean more like a genre, I probably will never write erotica. I did some of that in my youth, writing the like steamy yaoi fanfictions, but it just made me uncomfortable. They always ended up fluffy. I love writing fluff. Like, that gets me going. Some, like, a serious pining in fluff. But, like, super erotica is just like, oh boy, oh my god, okay. Number 5. 5. What's your goal for starting an Authortube channel? I don't know. It's been about 2 years since I genuinely started, so like what was my goal at the time? I wanted to kind of send out the feelers, like get to know the community, make a bit of a name for myself, because I'd been online for a long time just lurking in the corners. That didn't really get me anywhere, you know? Like I feel like a lot of people lurk online and that was great for me for many years. But when you suddenly are like, you know what, I want to start a business, I want to be published, I want to get to know other people who are publishing, lurking doesn't work so well. So YouTube was kind of the path that started me on the like socializing a little bit with other people who are in my industry. So I guess that was really my goal, to get to know everyone else and make some friends in the industry and let people know I'm out here. Number 6, what made you want to start writing? I think it's because I read so much. I read a ton as a child. I was always making up stories anyway, so why not continue that and just write them down? Like once I knew how to write, which would have been what, like 2nd grade, I was already starting to write stories. Like as soon as I could get them down on a page, I was already making up stories. So this is one of those paths that was a no-brainer. I do remember it was about 5th grade when I decided I was going to be a writer. And I don't remember why, because I feel like we were looking at like a science magazine or something and I was like, this is gonna be my pen name and this is what I'm going to do with my life. Yeah. Number 6, what is your publishing path? And they're talking about like self-published, traditional, hybrid, all of that. For poetry, I initially wanted to go traditional, and the trajectory of that has taken me towards self-publishing. So both my poetry collections are self-published because indie publishing in poetry works a little bit differently than indie publishing in traditional. So I'll let you watch some of my other videos if you're interested in more of my opinions on that. For publishing my novel, it's gotta be traditional publishing for me. I don't have the wherewithal for all the extra things that go into successful self-publishing, and I have thought about the fact that perhaps in a few years I will try that. And then I also thought, if my book is good enough, someone's gonna traditionally publish it. If I can't get it traditionally published, the book isn't good enough. I didn't write it well enough. So I'm going to keep trying until Circuit is traditionally published, is my plan. Like, even though I keep thinking it's ready, it clearly isn't. And then when I have enough time to think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad I didn't jump into publishing it now. So, question number 8, what content do you bring to the Authortube table? You may check out my backlist and you shall see. It's a little bit hodgepodgey. I talk about writing, I talk about books that I like, I talk about poetry sometimes, not often enough, because there's not enough poetry videos out there in the world, so I should probably talk about them more, but yeah, just kind of what's going on with me. Sometimes I do a little bit of a pathetic style vlog. Sometimes I talk about my cats. Number 9, what is your biggest writing struggle? I deeply struggle at revisions. I've been revising for 6 years now. I guess I've been working on the story for 6 years. I've been revising for 5 years. What's your best writing skill? I like to draft. I draft pretty fast. I think I do dialogue pretty well. I feel comfortable when I'm writing dialogue. And then you have to choose between question 11 and 12. So let me read them in advance. One moment. Number 11. If you've been on Authortube for a while, what's your best Authortube tip? Please don't have an introduction that's louder than you speak in the video. This is just gonna, I'm just gonna stray off into pet peeves. The one thing that I feel like people don't double check, that I really wish they would double check, and so if you're a newbie, this is the one thing. Double check your sound before you post. Make sure that you're not posting an intro that is like 20 decibels and then your voice in your video is like 5 decibels. Like, I don't want to be cranking my volume between your intro and then suddenly cranking it back down, like, or like down for your intro and then up for you. Like, try and make the sound for the video the same throughout unless there's a very specific reason. This is gonna sound so awful. I have enough of a pet peeve when I have to like crank my volume way up for someone's entire video because they talk softly or they have their volume toned down from what most other people have on YouTube. There's no like standard, unfortunately. please don't have a really loud intro with really loud music and then talk really softly. Like, if you talk softly, you gotta crank the volume down on your intro. Please. I hate it. And then if I'm wearing headphones, I unsubscribe. If you break my eardrums, I unsubscribe. And if I can't hear you, if I like have the dishwasher running and suddenly that's drowning you out and I have you all the way cranked, I unsubscribe. I can't. It's my one pet peeve that I can't handle it. I'm so sorry. This isn't an Authortube tip. This is just like a YouTube tip. Please check your sound. It sounds so harsh, but it's really important. And there's a lot of people whose channels are otherwise amazing who just hit that peeve for me, and so I have unsubscribed from several people for that reason. If your video, you've got to watch your own videos before you post them all the way through, because you've got to check for things like that, and it's really annoying if you don't. There you go. It was a pet peeve rather than a tip, but it's a tip, and it's not an Authortube tip, it's an everybody tip. Number 13, are you looking for any new channels to follow, betas, CPs, other types of writer buddies? If so, tell us what you're looking for and connect with them in the comments. I'd love to follow more poetry blogs. I'm open to anybody. I would love to do some collabs. So if you're up for that, hit me up. I would love to watch more channels. I'm just interested in the Authortube community. I tend to, if you leave any kind of comment in any of my videos, I check on your channel. That's just what I do. I just go and see if maybe you've posted anything that I'd be interested in. Like the question says, leave some comments. Number 14, what are you excited for during this new fresh start on Authortube? More friends? Meeting new people, finding new channels I enjoy, learning new information that I have never considered before. That's the whole tag. It's been out for a little while. Anyone who hasn't done this tag yet, who considers themselves an Authortuber, I personally tag you. You need to go out there and do this tag right now. Don't know if I can think of anyone off the top of my head who's on Authortube who hasn't done it. I'm pretty late to the party. I'm always late to the party on tags, so I don't tag anybody. Everyone is welcome to be tagged. I wasn't tagged by anyone myself, so there you go. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Stay tuned and check out my PoetryTube tag, which is going to be in whichever corner it is, because I never remember. I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, and good luck to all of us. I'll see you later. Bye!